Have you ever just had a name kind of pop in your mind? You're busy going about your day and all of a sudden this name just pops and appears. What if it's someone you literally don't know and you just get this overwhelming urge to go speak to them? What do you do when that happens? Hey Cornerstone, my name is Doug Sapp, and I've been involved with the church for quite a long time. And I was asked to maybe share a little bit of how I've been experiencing the Lord or where He has been engaging with me recently. And I've been doing a devotional in the book of Acts. So because that's where I am and because God has been speaking to me there, I thought that's where I'm going to go ahead and share with you. I'd really like to focus on a few extraordinary people, primarily because we're in extraordinary times. So the people I'm thinking of are people like Philip or Peter or Stephen or Barnabas, all names you're probably familiar with. And I'd like to just focus on the idea or think about the idea of why they are extraordinary to us. Have you ever just had a name kind of pop in your mind? You're busy going about your day and all of a sudden this name just pops and appears. Or a face or an image comes to mind. What do you do when that happens? Do you think, oh, I should reach out and call that person or text them? Or do you think, that's odd, maybe it's just something strange that has happened to you, or it feels odd. Maybe it's somebody that you're really, really close to and it's super comfortable to be able to reach out to them. But what happens if it's not that person? What if it's someone you literally don't know and you just get this overwhelming urge to go speak to them? What do you do when that happens? Do you think, gosh, I'm going to be looked at as weird, or I'm going to be looked at as they're going to think I'm strange, or they're going to think I'm one of those people, or do you just kind of look inwardly and go, gosh, my mind is wandering, I really need to focus? Or is it just a thing where you're just like, hey, once church is done, I'm going to go talk to that person? So those are the things that I think we all think about, and I think we all kind of run through our mind, or we have really good intentions to do that. But if you're like me, sometimes life just gets in the way. Your good intentions get set aside, you get busy, and you fail. You fail to do that. I'm super guilty of just that action. Picture this, there's Peter in the 2nd chapter of Acts. Thousands of people are in the city. All of a sudden the Holy Spirit has come upon these people, these disciples, and all these people from all over the world are hearing this message in the language that they speak, but they're not from that region. And this thing is happening in front of you, and all of a sudden some of the people around them start mocking the believers, saying, well, these people must be drunk. These people don't know what they're doing. They seem crazy, they're out of their mind. And Peter thinks somebody should say something. Somebody, under the unction of the Holy Spirit, Peter's like, somebody should address this. But imagine if he starts thinking like we do sometimes, like, what if he would have said, I really need to talk to somebody about this. I'm going to follow up with a few people right after. After all this stuff cools down, I'm going to go ahead and follow up. Or what if he said, I bet one of the other disciples should say something. They certainly are hearing the same thing I am. What if he paused like that? What if he had just waited? Or imagine, if you will, Philip in the 8th chapter of Acts, when an angel of the Lord appears. Now, we don't know how the angel of the Lord appears. It doesn't say it was a voice, it was a person. We don't know anything like that. It just says the angel of the Lord spoke to Philip and said, get up and go to a road between Gaza and Jerusalem. Wait, what? What if Philip was just like, huh? Why? I'm right here in the midst of everything. Well, okay, I'll do it later. I'm going to go later because you didn't really give me a time, or I'm going to go tomorrow. What would happen if those guys had done that? I can see that happening so easily. I've had that kind of prompting in my spirit to do something that I've rationalized away as just being silly or rude or maybe inappropriate. I mean, Who goes up to somebody you don't know and you say, you're on my mind, the Lord has brought something to my attention, and do you need prayer? Who does that? Or worse yet, imagine this. Imagine you're walking through a grocery store and the Lord draws your attention to someone. You don't know them, but the compassion of Christ just falls on you and you sense there's something going on with that person and I need to pray for them. You walk up to that person, what are they going to think? Like, what are you, nuts? Are you crazy? Get away from me. Maybe that happens, maybe that does happen, or maybe not. Maybe what happens is that person in that moment realizes Jesus is real, and they spoke to somebody who doesn't know me, and they asked that person to reach out. And the willingness to follow the urging of the Holy Spirit and move and go where it's kind of unexpected, uncomfortable, crazy. Those are the reasons we see Peter and Philip and we look at them and they'll say those are extraordinary men. But the truth is, they aren't extraordinary men. Those are extraordinary people because they followed and they moved in the Holy Spirit when the Holy Spirit directed. Those men embraced it. They became empowered by that Holy Spirit. And that's what led them to do these things that might seemingly be crazy. Remember when Peter gets up in front of a crowd of people, thousands of people get saved, just a few days before he was literally denying Jesus. But now, empowered by the Holy Spirit, he leads thousands to Christ. When we're empowered by the Holy Spirit, we can do extraordinary things. When that voice comes to us, or that sense of that presence of the Spirit comes to us and we feel it in our souls, like we're supposed to do something, do we pause and listen and take that for what it is? Or do we literally start questioning things and say, who do I think I am? Who am I? I'm not even sure this is the Holy Spirit speaking. Or why would the God of the universe, the creator of all things, pause in this moment to talk to me? Those are the negative thoughts that often accompany those really exciting moments where the Spirit's moving and he wants to do something. If you're like me and you believe in Jesus and you are filled with the Holy Spirit, you probably have heard those negative thoughts as well. You've probably had those questions come when you feel that unction in the Spirit, that prompting, because we have a common enemy. And that common enemy is not a creative enemy. He doesn't do anything unique. He just says the same stuff over and over and over again. So when we hear those words, why don't we just pause the next time we hear them and say, I'm a child of God. This is the Holy Spirit in me, wanting me to be his agent right now, to be blessed by being used by the Lord to bless somebody else or be a light in somebody else's lives. So the encouragement I have for you is this: trust in the Lord. Trust in the fact that the Holy Spirit is in you and loves to communicate with you. You are the one that God would love to become the next extraordinary person, just like Peter, just like Philip. You have the same Holy Spirit in you as those men do. So I hope this is encouraging for you guys. It's been encouraging for me. Go forth, church, and be courageous.